Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will discuss about post-structuralism and deconstruction. In structuralism, we study meaning is underlying in a structure and we cannot understand the things in isolation. But in post-structuralism, there is no fixed meaning. Meaning is nowhere located in text and there is no structure. Deconstruction is that there is no meaning outside the text. Post-structuralism originated as a reaction against structuralism. It encourages a way of looking at the world that challenges what comes to be accepted as truth and knowledge. It emerged in France during 1960s. The period was marked by the rebellion of students and workers against the state in May 1968. Post-structuralism is an approach to literature that proceeding from the tenets of structuralism maintains that as words have no absolute meaning, we haven't any control to meaning. Any text is open to an unlimited range of interpretations. Deconstruction, it is an unthinkable without post-structuralism and it emerged in 1967. It is a post-structuralist theory largely based on the writings of Jacques Derrida and it was also a reaction to structuralism. Jacques Derrida, in his 1967 work of Grammatology, introduced the majority of ideas influential within deconstruction. It is a critical outlook that concerns with the relationship between text and meaning. It focuses on the critical reading of a written text to uncover the ways of thinking. Now let's move on to some few critics related to post-structuralism or deconstruction. First critic is Michel Foucault, born in 1926 and died in 1984. He was a French philosopher, writer, and literary critic. His theories primarily address the relationship between power and knowledge and how they are used as a form of social control through social institutions. Most important works of Foucault: Madness and Civilization, 1961, The Birth of the Clinic, 1963, The Order of Things, 1966, Discipline and Punish, 1975, and The History of Sexuality, 1976. Madness and Civilization, A History of Insanity in the Age of Reason, appeared in French in 1961 and translated in English in 1964. Foucault traces the cultural madness evolution in three phases in his book: the Renaissance phase, the Classical Age, and the Modern Age. Next work is The Birth of the Clinic, an archaeology of medical perception. It was published in French language in 1963 and translated in English in 1973. Here he gave a term gaze, G-A-Z-E, gaze, medical gaze. The term medical gaze identifies the doctor's practice of objectifying the body of the patient as separate and apart from his or her personal identity. Next work is The Order of Things, an archaeology of the human sciences. It was published in 1966 in French language and 1970 in English language. He proposes that every historical period has underlying epistemic assumptions, ways of thinking, which determine what is truth and what is acceptable discourse about subject. Now let's discuss about some key concepts of Foucault. First concept is madness. Madness is a theory or term given by Foucault in his book Madness and Civilization. Second concept is biopower. He used the term in his lecture Courses at the Collège de France, and the term first appeared in print in The Will to Knowledge. The Will to Knowledge, Foucault's first volume of The History of Sexuality. So, biopower first appeared in The Will to Knowledge, Foucault's first volume of The History of Sexuality. Biopower is literally means having power over bodies. His concept of biopower describes the administration and regulation of human life at the level of the population and the individual body. It is a form of power that targets the population. Next concept is discourse analysis. Discourse analysis focusing on power relationships in society as expressed through language and practices and based on the theories of Foucault. Now next concept is episteme. E-P-I-S-T-E-M-E. Episteme. It is a philosophical term that refers to a principled system of understanding or scientific knowledge. Next concept is panopticism. It is the model for external surveillance. Panopticism is a term introduced by Foucault to indicate a kind of internal surveillance. This concept is covered in the areas of the discipline and punish. Foucault introduced this concept in his work Discipline and Punish. Panopticon is a type of institutional building and a system of control designed by the English philosopher and social theorist Jeremy Bentham in 18th century. Now let's talk about Jacques Derrida. He first time used the term deconstruction. Most important works of Jacques Derrida are Work of Morning and of Spirit. The concept of deconstruction is that there is nothing outside the text. Derrida's aims to erase the boundary between binary opposition. We will discuss later more about Derrida. Now let's discuss about other critic, American deconstructist Paul Dahmen. Paul Dahmen, born in 1919 and died in 1983. He was an American deconstructist and he was a Belgian-born literary critic and literary theorist. He was a disciple of Derrida with J.H. Miller. Major works of Paul Dahmen are Allegories of Reading, 1979, Blindness and Insight, 1971. Blindness and Insight have a subtitle, Essay in the Rhetoric of Contemporary Criticism. Next work is Rhetoric of Romanticism, 1984. Paul Dahmen called figures of speech as Tropes, T-R-O-P-E-S, tropes. According to him, tropes say something and mean something else. Tropes say something and mean something else. Blindness and Insight, which was a work published in 1971, circles around the paradox that critics only advise insight through a certain blindness. Next critic is J. H. Miller, born in 1928 and died in recently 7th Feb 2021. Joseph Hillis Miller was an American critic and scholar who advanced theories of literary deconstruction, and I already told that he was a disciple of Jacques Derrida with Paul Deman. Miller's first major deconstructive essay was The Critic as a Host. The Critic as a Host. It is a response to M. H. Abrams' The Deconstructive Angel, in which Abrams attacked the deconstructive strategy of leaving a text undecidable. In his essay, he gave the example of parasite and host to understand the logic behind reference text and original text. He represents parasite as a reference text and host as an original text. He begins his paper with a quote from Thackeray's novel Henry Esmond. This quote demonstrates the complex relationship between the parasite and host. Now, let's move on to the remaining critic, Jacques Derrida. Jacques Derrida argued that there is no meaning outside the text in his work in Sign, Structure, and Play. Deconstructionist literary critics believe that language is inadequate to express the true meaning of a literary work. They believe that the author cannot control the meaning of a text. He was a French philosopher, considered the founder of deconstruction. Deconstruction is influenced by Martin Heidegger's Being and Time, 1927. Derrida was born in Algeria, and he is best known for developing a form of semiotic analysis known as deconstruction. He is one of the major figures associated with post-structuralism and postmodern philosophy. He influenced architecture in form of deconstructivism, music, art, and art criticism. In 1967, he published his first three books, Writing and Difference, Speech and Phenomena, and of Dramatology. Derrida's work Structure, Sign, and Play in the Discourse of Human Sciences, 1966, marked the beginning of post-structuralism as a movement. Perhaps Derrida's most quoted and famous assertion, which appears in an essay on Rousseau in his book of Grammatology, is there is no meaning outside the text. In 1962, he published Edmund Husserl's Origin of Geometry, an Introduction. In a paper entitled Ghostwriting, Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak criticized Derrida's understanding of Marx. Gayatri Spivak translated Derrida's De la Grammatologie into English as Of Grammatology. Ideas of Derrida: deconstruction, difference, phalogocentrism, free play, arc writing, logocentrism, etc. So that's it for today's lecture. Thank you so much for watching.